As you know, 62% of children who enter college with a faith conviction leave without it. And I bet you there are people in this room who give money to colleges and universities who are undermining the very principles of our country every single day by indoctrinating kids in left-wing ideology. And you continue to give to these colleges and universities. Let me have a suggestion. Stop it. The indoctrination that occurs in American universities is one of the keys to the left holding and maintaining power in America. And it is indoctrination. If they taught Judeo-Christian principles in those colleges and universities, they would be stripped of every dollar. If they teach radical secular ideology, they get all the government support that they can possibly get.
Let's consider for a moment what colleges actually do, especially in comparison to what this religiously programmed indoctrinate Rick Santorum had to say about higher education, which is the backbone of America and the world's future, as well as our evolved past. First, colleges allow students to pick their own classes from diverse fields of study. Courses aren't limited to one book of ancient and primitive dogma, further restricted by the clergy's personal interpretations, part of the religious indoctrination that Rick Santorum's weak mind succumbed to. Second, students are free to challenge ideas, debating fellow students and professors alike, in a search for substantive evidence and facts, which further their own free will and freedom of thought, and ultimately allowing them to arrive at their own conclusions, not those of clergy trying to force them to believe exactly what they themselves believe. Since clergy and Santorum were indoctrinated and programmed, it's impossible for them to see the obvious, that they are sheep, told to follow. They have problems thinking freely, and expect others to follow the way they do. Colleges allow students to learn about everything, which does tend to destroy the childish fiction of religion, although reading a Bible ought to do that for anyone with a normal intelligence level. Here's an example of what Santorum would like to indoctrinate children with. Santorum and others like him are the very reason for our First Amendment, which forbids kooks like Santorum from forcing their own radically insane beliefs onto anyone else, and attempting to indoctrinate them as the religiously motivated Qaeada does with their suicide bombers. It is unnecessary, and faith is downright dangerous since it redirects energy to something useless that could have been spent finding a practical solution for a real problem or situation. Faith in oneself is fine, but not in a silly man-made disciplinarian that uses threats of violence to secure its creepy demands. It's clear Santorum isn't electable, and it is also very clear why religion is self-righteous, dangerous, and of no value in an advancing, evolving society. As intelligence rises, religiosity drops sharply, and that's what kooks like Santorum are afraid of, since they will no longer be able to control and indoctrinate them into their primitive cult, where fictional characters command you to obey them to the letter and surrender your free will, following blindly like Kook Santorum. If the GOP picks this Kook Santorum, America will abandon them like a used diaper.